those of you leading fast casual brands, take note. The Fast Casual Executive Summit is happening October 4th through the 6th in Arlington, Texas. Save 20% when you register at fastcasualsummit.com with the code podcast. Welcome to the Restaurant Operator Podcast. I'm Mandy Detwiler, editor of Pizza Marketplace and QSRweb, and I'm here today with Enga Stanfield, co-owner of Mattenga's Pizzeria in Texas, and we are chatting all things technology today. Enga, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Mandy. Excited to be here and talk all technology. Absolutely.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your pizzeria first? How did it get its start?
Sure. So we've been at it since 2014. So it's been about 12 years. My husband and I, our background is in engineering. We, at a time, got married after college, and we started our jobs, and we realized we didn't want to stare at a computer all day, and we wanted to be in business for ourselves. So we thought, let's just open a business. We loved serving food to people, host a lot of parties at the house in terms of rolling dough, fresh pastas, baking all kinds of stuff. We hosted a lot of parties at the house, and we thought, let's open a restaurant. How hard can it be? And that to say, we had no restaurant experience. So we've been at it for 12 years, and we have 7 locations. Next week, opening location number 8 and location number 9, hopefully in the next 3 months. So it's been busy 12 years for us.
Now, why pizza?
Good question. I'm Iranian actually, but I don't know. Overall, I think something's very special about pizza, people getting together and breaking bread. No other dish you can share out of the same, like the way the pizza is. So it's very special. Obviously, garlic, all the things, oregano, all the herbs, it goes well with Mediterranean and all of that. But ultimately, there was a pizzeria that came up for sale in Schertz, Texas, where we were looking at moving. And it was within our price range. It was about $140,000 from a website called Biz by Sell, where you can go in there and see a lot of restaurants that come up for sale. You can look up by your zip code and see if you want to take over a restaurant. Granted, I think with AI and stuff today, it's much easier to feed the P&L into an AI platform to see if it makes sense. So 12 years ago, we didn't know how to read a P&L. All the numbers, years later, we realized none of that actually made sense. At that time, it was making about $500,000 a year, which sounded a lot when you come from the outside world into the restaurant business. And so it turned out it was about $200,000 below break even. So it took about a year and a half to go from red to black. So we literally lived at the restaurant for that time. And my parents also lived with us and helped with our 2 little kids. We had a 7-month-old and a 2-year-old at a time.
Oh, wow.
So, which is really common within our industry. You live at the store till you get it to somewhere profitable. It took us about a year and a half to 2 years to get there, and a lot of blood and sweat, mostly blood, but you know what I mean.
Speaking of which, what was your biggest challenge?
I mean, the biggest challenge, and I think in restaurants, you will solve one set of problems, you find new problems. So the first set of problems was sales, of course, for us the first 2 years. When you are there all the time, you don't have as much staffing problems because you are there. Consistency or enforcing things is much easier when you're there. And so we had sales problem the first 2 years. So that was our main focus. And we joined our local chamber of commerce. We were in every local parade, as 4th of July parade or Christmas parade, anything that we could, the city allows a float to be out there. We were out there passing out flyers and candy, meeting people. We took by that, I mean like 5 to 10 pizzas every single day. We would take out to local businesses, to churches, to schools, a lot of sowing seeds. You have to go out there, shake hands, sow seeds, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm a local pizzeria down the road. We would love an opportunity to serve you, over and over. So that was our first set of problems. It took us about 2 years to solve that. Then when you have a lot of customers, you're going to find operational problems because you have a line out the door and food takes forever. You've run out of stuff. Then you need to solve those operational problems. You need to streamline, create systems about prep, about consistency, about how are you going to solve all of those customer concerns that come through. Once you solve that, by that I mean kind of streamline it, then you're going to have staffing problems because you need to expand your team. then then you realize, oh, wait a minute, I need a structure for my management. I need to have team members to be able to go from a team member to a lead, to an assistant manager, to a manager. And once you have, you go to add more locations, and I need an area manager. And when you are independent, so you're not in a franchise environment, I'm assuming franchise folks have more support, but as an independent, you have to build everything brick by brick. And you don't know what you don't know. So you just find problems, and that has been our secret. We just obsess over the problem at hand. Whatever today finds, or this week, whatever the problem stress points are, we obsessively try to solve them and move on to the next. And yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk tech. What are some of the tech platforms that you're using?
We have, in the last year and a half, really focused on our technology. And I think with AI, and there's a lot of great software out there today, the prices have gone down overall. We have also invested a lot in equipment as well, like slicing vegetables or shredding cheese equipment. And part of that, I think, a lot comes from shortage of labor, and labor costs being very high is important as restaurant owner to leverage equipment as well as software with that intention in mind, and bringing in more consistency. So we have inventory management software, new ones that we invested in the last year and a half, and connection because we have a large team. How are we going to streamline communication? As well as a big one since last year is like owner.com. Part of that is, as we added more locations, we just were in the weeds trying to build it up in terms of, again, getting customers, the staffing, all of those stuff. And we didn't really think ahead that, for instance, the website need to be search engine optimized, or that's like a basic one. We didn't have that. So we have 7 locations currently across all of San Antonio. And prior to that, maybe it's in a neighborhood in San Antonio, our website would simply not come up on Google Maps. And it dawned on me because we have Parry's Pizza, and they are a big brand. They have venture capital money, and they probably have teams of tech behind them. And so I sat through a demo with owner.com, and somebody was like, oh, hey, let's pull up if your website comes up. And Parry's had just opened like 3 months ago. And we look up pizza near me, Parry's would come up way above our website. And that was frustrating, to say the least, because we had been there like for years versus those that have been there for just a few months. And so that was one big one. So owner.com with SEO, our website is search engine optimized, which I really appreciate, because that is passive sales that it brings in whenever someone is searching for best pizza near me. And San Antonio gets also a lot of tourists. So we have to really be intentional about capturing those folks who are here and they want to taste something local instead of going to your big chains. They want to taste something that they can't get somewhere else. So
before Owner, what did you do to ensure that your restaurant ranked on top of Google keywords like pizza near me or best pizza San Antonio? What did you do?
Not really much. I thought that if our Google business profile is optimized, and in my brain, I thought, you know what, if we have a lot of pictures, so I made sure we have a lot of pictures up. And some of the basic stuff with SEO, for example, we have a pizza, for example, it's called Waikiki, because it is a little bit different than your basic Hawaiian pizza. But like Google doesn't know that Waikiki is the same as the Hawaiian. If someone is searching for those, these are some of the basic stuff that we may not have the time and the energy to go study. And that's why it's an advantage of tapping into another platform that kind of has mastered those things. And that is one is with owner.com. I think when you get a website that is search engine optimized with Owner, you get 30 different websites ultimately that the AI builds within minutes. Like every single zip code and neighborhood has a website that is just within your page. You don't even know. When you click on it, it opens up. But like every menu item, your popular menu items, it gets its own page and domain. So all of that really helps with the SEO. But prior to that, we didn't do much for SEO.
Okay. Now, do you guys have an app?
An app we do have now with owner.com. Years ago, like the app was really popular. A lot of restaurants were coming up with the third-party apps when they were hot. I looked up how we can add an app. And we realized that it'll cost thousands of dollars, and you have to be hands-on and involved in terms of how it's going to look like, what's the copy, what's the image, when the customer clicks, where does it go, and then obviously all the integration. It needs to integrate with your POS. It is not something you can do on your own. So owner does also, it is included in their services that they do also give you a custom branded app. And one of the things that I love about it is the reordering speed. I in fact timed it, how long it takes for a customer to go into our app, go to their past orders and add to cart, and payment, everything is saved. It takes 8 seconds to reorder a past order. And I really love that because we serve a lot of families with young children. Maybe a mom is in a carpool picking up their kids. It takes so quick. It removes all the friction for customers to do business with us. And that's one of the things that I really like about the app.
Why should restaurants offer custom branded apps?
I think that today it is a no-brainer. One, statistically, they come out and say that customers that download a restaurant app, they are more likely to use, they bring in twice as much in sales. So it shows that those are committed customers that order way more because of the app. App has also push notifications that you can, at the right time, because timing is everything within restaurants, when a customer is hungry. And I think push notification versus text. We also do text marketing, and I'm very pro that. But I think push notification from the app, it is not as, it doesn't interrupt as much versus the text, I think, because people are really used to receiving push notifications from email and or social media. So it's great for those push notifications. I think that a restaurant that does not have an app, it's at a disadvantage today. It's a no-brainer with technology. And a lot of those third-party apps provide all of that. I get all notifications from them all the time. So we have to be there. We have to be present in our customers' phone. Absolutely.
Now, how do you compete with third-party apps?
Oh my goodness, that is difficult to do. And because, anyways, it is a big problem. What I would say is the same way we go get our own customers. We need to provide technology and an experience where customers would choose us over third-party apps. And so there are many ways we can do that. One, I think, great way is storytelling, email marketing. It is traditional, but it works. We can track our sales. And I'm going to say 30 to 40% of our sales growth comes from the email because we tell stories in our emails. We have that advantage as independent restaurants. You have chain, but telling stories, pictures of donations that we make, caterings we've done, faces of our team members. People need to love you and like your restaurant. If you are competing in one of those third-party apps, people are just looking for deals, and this one is $5 off. Those are transactional customers. And I think in 2026, as restaurant owners, we have to really prioritize storytelling and direct communication with our customers, staying top of mind and consistent. So for us, we do 2 emails every single week. It's always at the same time because we are trying to build a habit for people to know every single week. We want them to get pizza and hear from us every Wednesday at 4 p.m. and every Friday at 4 p.m. So that is, it takes work, it takes conditioning, but it certainly is possible to do.
And 4 o'clock is a good time because people are still at work. They're thinking about dinner. They haven't chosen yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely.
a good, yeah, that's a good time. Now, I know that you guys offer catering. What are the best practices to grow catering sales?
I think catering is just so important for us to do, multiple things. One is to make sure you have a menu that is optimized for catering. One of the things we can learn from, for example, Chipotle's of the world is that they have made it easy to feed masses of people. They have those burritos and stuff. And so as a restaurant owner, we need to make sure our catering menu is not just large quantities of our existing menu. That requires some thought to prioritize catering for one, to have a menu that serves a purpose, if it's corporate clients and all of those things. The other thing is, another thing with owner.com, they've given us a website that is catering search engine optimized. Because a lot of folks who are looking into, for example, they want to cater, it could be secretary or admin person who, there's an event, they're like, hey, you go order the food. So they may go in online and search for Mexican catering near me. They may not think about that local catering, local Mexican restaurant they always go to because they don't know that you offer catering. That's why I think it's just so important to also have that website where you have images of your catering and all that, and also making it easy for people to order catering from you directly. That's another thing that owner gives us is an catering online ordering, where a customer can see exactly our packages, how many people it feeds each of our like large trays of pasta, how much it is and how much it comes out per person. It's just in today's world, people do not have time to call the store, to coordinate or leave you a message, go back and forth, talk to a manager. That's our problem as independents, just a lot of logistics in between. We make it hard for customers to do business with us. But catering as well, we have posters with giant QR codes in the dining room that, if we want to, we would love to cater your next event, schedule your order. They can just scan the QR code. It goes to our website. It goes to our catering online ordering. We just make it as easy as possible. And that puts us at an advantage versus other restaurants that don't provide that.
What was the moment you realized that owner.com was working for you?
Well, we have in the last year that we've had owner.com, we have seen a growth in sales. We have steadily grown sales in the last few years, of course. But as the economy has gotten shaky, we've gone through a lot. Inflation is, all the things. Customer needs have shifted and changed. We have seen steady 10 to 15% sales growth. And I think that for sure, a big part of that is owner.com. Another one is, of course, operations is important. We have a great team. I want to make sure that I do mention that team does well. They try to provide consistent service, but we have seen 10 to 15% sales growth steadily. Part of that is our SEO and making it easy for customers to order from us, providing that catering online. And another feature that I really love about Owner is the fact that after every online order, they automatically send a text message to every customer and ask for their feedback. We had to have somebody part-time manage that because we get so many more 5-star reviews than before and so many internal feedbacks. In fact, last week we had 62 feedback across. We have 7 restaurants that were internal feedback. I mean, they were not positive. Maybe we forgot a dip cup. The food was cold. It was late, all the things. And there were 7 public that were maybe a 1-star Google. The other 62 were internal because we make it very easy. Owner makes it very easy for customers to directly message us on the text. Hey, I was missing my dip cup, or I did not get my salad. Food took an hour and a half. And our team immediately, like within 15 to 30 minutes, gets back to those customers. So we're able to save those. And then also we get so many 5-star reviews. We have done all the things before getting those reviews. We have a QR code in the dining room. We make our managers ask customers, incentivizing the team, but removing friction, making the timing is impeccable when they send it at the right time. All restaurants have a lot of loyal customers, but getting those people to leave you 5-star reviews, just making it 3 clicks. We have gone from, some of our stores go from like a 4.2 rating to all 7 of them. Our lowest rating now is 4.5. We go from 4.5 to 4.9. And that's a huge deal because it also, again, it's another edge. It's another advantage. And when someone is looking for a restaurant, if yours is a 4.8, they're going to check that restaurant over one that is 4.6. That is just basic, and a lot more reviews. So those are just these add-ons that we have received that I'm very, very grateful for.
What is your favorite part of Owner?
I would say that is the one feature that I said about the reviews. It is my favorite. Because that is forever. Those reviews and those rankings, those are forever. The other one is kind of working with the team. Whenever there are issues, because there are no perfect software or hardware, our team isn't perfect either. I think it's important to make sure you work with a team that is customer obsessed. And all interactions that I've had with the team have been great. They are always wanting to improve the platform. I think it's important to work with companies that are constantly evolving and growing in 2026. And Owner's team is one that, again, I love working with the team. Always when they're in issues with support, they go above and beyond. And that means a lot to me.
How has owning those customer relationships, knowing who's ordering, being able to reach them directly, changed things for the business?
Sales, brand loyalty, we have so much competition popping up in our area. There's so many restaurants coming into our neighborhoods. A lot of big franchises are expanding, and it is our advantage to have direct relation with our customers and not be cold. Again, we post a lot of pictures of our team in there. a lot of the community donations. We get responses to those emails, and that is our advantage. I think that email marketing, it works. We have 40% open rate on those emails. We have an offer. It is not really that much, like $1.50 discount on like a combo deal, just to make it a no-brainer for customers to order from us. But I think we have, as restaurant owners, there's shiny stuff out there to look into, of course, but email marketing and text message marketing, those push notifications, they have worked forever. We do social media, and that's the tip of the iceberg. What's under the ice is the infrastructure, and that's a marketing machine and a system we have. We plan things months in advance, and if I didn't have those systems in place, I don't know what we would do. But a lot of our growth, I would say, has to do with email marketing, text message marketing, and being consistent and systematic. Absolutely.
Right. What's the number one reason that a restaurant should choose Owner?
I think that a lot of restaurants, today it is a no-brainer. Ultimately, you need to work with a platform that provides all of those services, the online ordering, ideally an app, of course, the SEO website, email marketing, text message marketing. You are at a disadvantage. Ultimately, you're working hard and you're not working smart. And I think that there was a time when it comes to like word of mouth, 2 decades ago, you could move slower. You can be like, when I open a restaurant, it's going to take a year. I'm going to have to have savings to sustain months of not getting to a profitable level. I don't think you can do that today. The cost, the inflation, we have to get to a profitable, and the competition is absolutely fierce. With you going against bigger franchise that they have departments and techs for people to run those. We don't have those things. We're at a disadvantage. And I think it is very important to partner with an organization, another company like owner.com, who provides all of those services for you so you can go further and faster.
If you had a piece of advice to give to a business or a restaurant who doesn't know where to start with owner.com, what would you tell them?
One is that there is a free AI tool. It's called grader.owner.com. It is a free tool that Owner provides. You can put your website, actually not your website, the name of your restaurant in your city. It grades your website, and it gives you a list of everything you need to work on to improve your SEO. So that is free, that anybody can do. And you can go in there and it shows you your competitors, the reviews or rankings. It gives you suggestions, like a list of it's like a checklist. That's where I would start. You can do things yourself. If you have the time and the energy, 100%, you can do those. You can improve on those areas, and the information is out there. But there's a few clicks you can add, and it builds your website if you wanted to leverage AI. Again, it just depends on how fast you want to go. But that is where I would start, grader.owner.com.
Well, we are out of time. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Mandy. This was fun.
That'll do it for this episode of the Restaurant Operator Podcast, and we'll catch you next time.